Hello, it's time to talk about the Northern Colorado real estate market. My name is Andy Hawbaker with Coldwell Banker, Northern Colorado, and we're going to talk about everything that's going on in Fort Collins, Loveland, Windsor, and Greeley, and we're going to talk about the median sales prices and all the latest data. I'm filming this in May 2023, so the latest data we have available to us is the sales market data for April 2023. So let's dive in and take a look. All right, so we're looking at the new listings here. Fort Collins is blue, Loveland is red, Windsor is the yellow gold, and Greeley is a gray color here. This is a 3-year number. So for new listings, I've got 262 new listings in April of 2023 in Fort Collins, 167 in Loveland, 122 in Windsor, and 128 in Greeley. So you can see that's down. It's actually up in Windsor, but down 27% from 1 year ago. So still struggling a bit on new listings, but you'll see that things are improving and it's becoming a better market overall. So for homes for sale, we're currently at 242 homes for sale in Fort Collins, 195 in Loveland. So that's an increase. So the new homes, are sitting a little bit longer on the market, and that's giving us more homes available here. So how many are under contract? The number of homes under contract in Fort Collins and Loveland were down slightly. However, it's gone up in Windsor. We're seeing a nice increase in Windsor's home sales. So that's going on there. So how many closed in April of 2023? We're down about 30% in Fort Collins, the number of homes sold or actually closed within that month. But there were still 182. So you can see that if 182 homes sold in Fort Collins and we got 262 new listings, so we are increasing the inventory that we have, which has been a huge problem for a couple of years, honestly. So let's look at the days on market. This Windsor is kind of an oddball on this one. I think it's because of the new construction. But you can see that the median number of days on market is now 33 days, 36 days. Windsor's kind of out there again because of new construction, and Greeley is 40 days on the market. So that's all a huge increase from a year ago, but kind of settling in. If you leave Windsor out of this, we climbed up a little bit here, and then it's sinking down a bit as the spring market's hitting. So market's actually heating up, and things are looking pretty good on that end. Let's talk about supply. I mentioned this earlier. This has been a huge problem for a couple of years for us. We're now to, a lot of people don't understand months supply. Basically, that means with the current demand that we have for homes, how long would it take to sell everything that is available to us? So I showed you that the number of closed sales versus the number of homes available. So if we sold the same pace we've been selling, there's 1.2 months worth of inventory in Fort Collins, 1.5 months in Loveland. That's actually great. Windsor's at 2.2, and Greeley's just under a month. About a year ago, we were looking at, this is 2022, January 2022, 0.3 and 0.5. So 2 weeks worth of inventory, or, a week and a half worth of inventory is really where we were, in early 2022. And now it's actually a much more healthier market. Honestly, a balanced market is 6 months, 5 to 6 months worth of inventory. Anything below that is the seller's market, and anything above that is the buyer's market. So we're still kind of a long ways from a true buyer's market. So that's what's going on there. Let's look at the median sales price for each one of these communities. This is really interesting. In Fort Collins, the median sales price was $566,000. That's up 2.6% from a year ago, actually. So we're up a little bit in Fort Collins. That's interesting. Loveland, median sales price was $504,800, which is down 8.2% from a year ago. In Windsor, $538,500, which is down 14% from last year. And in Greeley, the median sales price was $399,250, which is down about 10% from a year ago's numbers. Okay, so this is always an interesting one for me too, the percentage of the original asking price. So this is, you heard all those stories about people paying 10% above the asking price a year ago, year and a half ago. Right now, it's right around the asking price. So Fort Collins average was 100% of the asking price. Loveland 100%, Windsor 98.5%, and Greeley 100%. So that means you won't really expect that you have to come in and bid above the asking price. You probably can just offer the asking price and get the home in this current market. But you shouldn't expect that you can offer 10% under or 20% under, all these crazy things that sometimes buyers want to do. You're most likely going to be paying near the asking price. So there's that. The price per total square foot, so $251 per square foot in Fort Collins, $231 in Loveland, $196 in Windsor, and $201 in Greeley. I find that really interesting that Windsor's almost $50 less per square foot than Fort Collins. So that's kind of something I want to think about for a second there. Okay, the showings depend. How many showings are there before the house goes pending? In Fort Collins, there are 12 showings before the house goes under a contract. Loveland 8, Windsor only 4, and Greeley 10. That means that there's people out there looking at homes, but people are, buyers are being a little bit picky. You're able to take some time. You don't have to just like put in an offer as soon as you see the house. You have a little bit of time to think about it, talk about it, and come up with what you want to do, or maybe choose between a few homes. And then the showings per listing, so 9.2 showings per listing in Fort Collins, 6.4 in Loveland, 4.9 in Windsor, and 7.7 in Greeley. So what does all this mean? That's really what you're here for. Honestly, the real estate market is doing pretty well in northern Colorado. We're seeing that prices never really did fall that much. I mean, you saw in the numbers, they have a little bit from a year ago, but not significantly. It's just that you're not, it's honestly a good time for buyers if you're a buyer, because like I showed you, you can pay just the asking price. You don't have to come in 5-10% above that asking price. You're probably not bidding. In many cases, you're not going to be bidding against other people. There are some desirable homes that maybe are priced a little bit low and will see multiple offers. There's definitely that happening, especially in those lower price ranges. If you're trying to get anything under $400,000, that's kind of what everyone's looking for. So that's going to be tough. But also, I've seen it in Fort Collins around the $750,000 range. That's a pretty nice house. That's not too crazy expensive. And there's a lot of people looking for those. So there's a couple of price ranges where it can be difficult for a buyer, but let's talk about that. I'm up to date on what's going on in all of northern Colorado, so I can help you answer those questions. And if you're a seller, I think right now is a great time to sell your home too. Market's starting to heat up. The interest rates have come down from the peak, kind of settling in the low 6 range. I think once we get to 5.5, I've seen some data that around 5.5% and lower is where a lot of people are going to be freeing up and coming on the market. So if you're wanting to sell and move away from the market, it might be a really good time to get listed now before other homes start flooding the market as soon as rates come any lower. So anyways, that's a really interesting thing to think about there. So my name is Andy Hawbaker. I am a licensed realtor site, which is andyhawbaker.com. And I'll look forward to talking to you later. Goodbye.